people, what's going on? I'm Scott. That's Ryan. And this is Tales from the Film Set. So, how you doing, sir?
Oh, that's right. I forgot we stopped doing that whole big speech about where you could find us now, and
Just
we'll
get
just
right
get
to
into
it.
it.
It's all on the bottom anyway. So,
Yeah. The wonders of technology.
yes.
But yeah, I'm pretty good. I was actually on a set this weekend, so that
Nice.
was always nice.
Did it involve naked people?
No, but
Oh, God.
coincidentally, I know, I had to say but the outfit that they had me in, or rather the uniform they procured for me, was maybe a bit too snug. So a shirt that should cover all didn't exactly cover all. Mm, I tried my posture to be as best as possible, so everything kept on screen. But there may be a few scenes, maybe even like a teaser, goofs and gaffs at the end of credits that may just have me all showing. So
All right. Well, as long as you're not showing anything that can't be blurred out later. If it's
no.
really blurred
I mean, I wish I could blur it out. Trust me, but such is my life.
out. Trust me.
But outside of that, it was a pretty good weekend. Guardians
Yeah.
did very well, and we will get into Guardians later in the episode. We will be doing a spoiler review, so if you have not watched the movie, feel free to go ahead and plug up your ears. But we also will be announcing the winner of our Guardians of the Galaxy Deadpool, not just with in-house, but also with any of you folks who went ahead and submitted your list, and we'll see if anyone is a significant winner or if we have to go ahead and pick someone ourselves.
And then at that point, we'll just figure it out at that point. In this case, if push comes to shove, I'll just say it's me. I'll just say I won. We'll call it as it is.
Ha ha ha.
Yes, I think that's
okay. Just because you have a little C on your shirt there does not mean you are the captain.
Yeah, well, you know what? I had the little C on my shirt because of the fact that apparently they're doing a sequel to Dodgeball, which I'm concerned about, excited about, nervous about, and have questions about. So, also since I got back so late, I didn't really have a chance to change my shirt. So I was already in my undershirt, and I'm like, what's in my closet? Dodgeball it is!
I mean, personally, I think it's like a fun idea. Lord knows the majority of the cast that were in that film are free and available to go ahead and make a sequel. I mean, you have Stiller, you have Vaughn, you have Alan Tudyk, Justin Long. You have a good cavalcade of weird characters. And yes, I saw the trailer for Meg 2, and Jason Statham is that sequel is just cartoony. I'm sorry. Like, the first movie was one thing, but the second movie looks like absolutely ridiculous. They actually have an exosuit for the people in that movie, where they're like busting concrete rocks so this way they can take on the things that are in the deep. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Hey guys. Sorry.
Okay,
now. So
I'm the captain now.
All right. But like I said, I'm curious about that. It's not what we're going to spend a lot of time on, but because I just had to grab a shirt out of the closet, and because of the fact that there is supposed to be a Dodgeball 2, which I'll be interested to see if even Ben Stiller would show up in that, because he's so heavily tied to Severance at this point, and because there's probably no script because the writer's strike, we'll see if it ever sees the light of day. Speaking of day, hi.
No, but I think Dodgeball has actually aged enough where it's in that comfortable gap where it's like, okay, yeah, it's nostalgic enough. Plenty of people still make references to the movie. How many times have you known somebody to go ahead and use that interesting strategy card and let's see how it pans out?
Yes.
That is now meme worthy. So,
well, I mean, I say if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. And my wife looks at me, it's like, what the hell are you talking about?
And by the way, I've never seen Dodgeball. So.
Jesus Christ, Rob, you're too damn young.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't like stupid comedies.
What?
Some of the best comedies are because people are stupid.
Oh, it was fun, man. I'm sorry you don't find it droll enough for you.
No,
darling.
I'm sorry for your
absolutely. Yes,
hey, I'm lucky.
Very droll.
I'm lucky I even watched Napoleon Dynamite at the end of last year. I actually enjoyed that one.
Okay. I know we're getting sidetracked here, but
we totally are.
Explain to me how Napoleon Dynamite is a stupid comedy when it's actually one of the more
No, I have the
G-rated.
perception because it was in like the caption because it was in like the category of like the stupid comedies. At least what I heard before I watched it. But I watched it and I actually enjoyed it. There are some parts that are questionable in that movie, but it ended up being a good movie. And I watched it because I met the actor.
And they came out in the second. They came out in the same year, also. To point that out. So, Tyler, pick yourself up, sir. But anyway, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the Richard Dreyfuss. So basically, I'm calling it the Richard Dreyfuss about Oscar's new mandatory inclusion policy.
He loves that title that he came up with.
I like play on words, Well, I was going to say what makes. He referred to the Oscars' new policy as making him vomit. So I considered basically saying what makes Dick vomit, but I figured let's not go that direction.
I mean, we'd probably get more hits from new people, but they'd be very mad with us.
That might actually go against YouTube's policy and probably Twitch as well. Hi, by the way, Day, what's down there?
And I can say
I've officially met him.
So
I'm typing away. Away about something.
Do you have something you want to share with the rest of the class?
Exactly. You want to share with the rest of the class what you're talking about?
Fast X. I'm going to see John Cena.
Yes, you are. That's why you won't be available next week.
Exactly.
So what? This is a
you're fired.
Premiere event.
You're fired.
This is a Q&A.
Okay.
With MTV.
Wait, so you're not gonna. So next Monday you're not gonna be seeing anyone.
I mean, he'll ask a question and there will be a voice that answers it, but it's going to be out there in the vapors,
exactly. In the ether.
Like the Phantom of the Opera. You don't know where it's coming from.
Right. It's going to be like John
Phantom of the Opera is here. Actually, but Day is not. So, anyway, let's go back to this. Dick is raising a fuss. Dreyfuss is raising a fuss because of the Academy's new mandatory inclusion policy to be recognized for the Oscars.
Okay.
This is something that has caused a little bit of curiosity. On one hand, with some people saying, yes, that kind of makes sense. You're limiting art, and other people saying, "Shut up, Grandpa, and take your medicine."
Oh wow! Shut up, Grandpa.
Dude, there was a lot of boomer references upon Twitter for this one. So the two-time Oscar winner himself had come out and talked about the fact that when it comes down to art, it is not something that should be tampered with just because of the fact that it's going on whatever happens to be the popular thing at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in your case, I don't know if you guys have any specific thoughts or opinions on this, but I'm curious to get your ideas.
Technically, art is all about expression. Whether it's your opinion, somehow it got political with art. I'm sorry to say that. Art became political. And people are supposed to enjoy the art, enjoy entertainment, enjoy escaping the realms of society.
Mm-hmm.
But when you bring society with an art, that's when you mix oil and water, and it's not a good mix.
So you don't like it. You actually agree. You agree with him in this case.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sorry to say that because because when you start bringing political aspects into the art, it's just like you're causing conflict. You're causing chaos. Besides, let everybody enjoy it, or if they didn't like it, they didn't like it. But let people enjoy what they love to see it, what they, just enjoy it for what it is. But when you bring politics in, you're just bringing those people back into the reality.
You're saying it doesn't become escapism anymore.
Exactly.
Okay. Rob, do you have any specific thoughts on this? And if not, I'll go to Ryan.
I still don't exactly understand it, so no, I don't have any opinions until I get more information.
Oh, well, okay, then Well, let me go ahead try to explain what's going on here then,
Mhm.
because I mean this is definitely something that probably flew under the radar for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um, and mind you, this the write up I have here is from the New York Post, but the comments themselves actually came from apparently a PBS show called Firing Line with
Mhm.
Margaret Hoover, where Dreyfuss was a guest. His comments go as such: This is an art form. It's also a form of commerce, and it makes money, but it's an art. And no one should be telling me as an artist that I have to give in to the latest, most current idea of what morality is.
Mm-hmm.
What are we risking? Are we really risking hurting people's feelings? You can't legislate that. And you have to let life be life. And I'm sorry, I think that there is a minority or a majority in the country that has to be catered to like that. So basically, no favoritism.
Mhm.
Right. That's just like stand-up comedy. Like, come on. Like when I'm on stage and I'm cracking jokes about you and other people, are you going to come up on stage and put your hands on me?
So it happens, dude.
It
It's getting to
happens.
that point.
Right.
It's getting
But
to
would
that
you?
point. Stand-up
But the
comedy.
thing is, but we're talking a little bit apples oranges here because you're talking about people coming to see you who have paid money to see you, knowing essentially what they should be getting.
Mm-hmm.
This is now taking filmmaking, and mind you, there are some filmmakers that prioritize getting into the Oscars. You know, you can call some movies Oscar bait because they try to work themselves up to that category.
Right.
But the Oscars themselves have been under
Yeah.
a great amount of scrutiny in the last, I'd say, decade even, over the nomination process and what qualifies as a nominated movie versus others that may get overlooked.
Mhm.
So the fact is, starting in 2024, and this is per the New York Post write up, a film has to meet certain diversity and inclusion standards in 4 different categories set out by the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences to be considered for Best Picture at the Oscars.
Didn't see too
Which
good.
means if a picture does not abide by these things, they can't even get nominated as Best Picture.
Mhm.
Now,
So
the categories, each pertaining to different aspects of a movie's production, would require new diversity measures to be met through quote unquote on screen representation, creative leadership and project team, industry access and opportunities, and audience advancement. Now, they make the example of on screen representation is classified as at least one lead actor from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group, having at least 30% of secondary roles be from 2 underrepresented groups, or the main storyline has to focus on uh, on an underrepresented group. So those guidelines are already saying if you want your film to be nominated for Best Picture, it has to have some form of that. Which in itself is almost telling you, hey, the
basically,
story either has to be like this or the actors in the film have to be this.
so basically, you don't have free will in a way. You don't have like control of what you want, and you basically have to abide to their guidelines. So basically, Richard is basically saying that he's against that stuff. That you should be able to basically do what you want without having to have those kind of guidelines. Is that what I'm understanding, right?
Right. Because I think for a lot of people, they can argue that the best
Okay.
picture of any year isn't necessarily the picture that represented the film industry most or represented every ethnicity. It was the best picture from a scientific and an emotional standpoint. I mean, you look back at some of the previous winners that we've had in those and have been lauded as some of the best films ever created.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are a little more centric about who they represent. Think of The
Mhm.
Godfather. You know, I mean, The Godfather is primarily Italian,
Yeah.
White.
white, lots of males because those are the guys either doing the killing or getting killed.
There is some women in there occasionally, Talia Shire. But
Right. But I mean, that's basically saying that because a movie like that got made, if it was made now, it would not be nominable for Best Picture.
Which in standpoint should be because of it. Really, if you really look at it, Italian does fall under what the guidelines are.
Well,
I'm ginger. Does that count? I mean, we only represent like 3% of the population.
no.
We're underrepresented group.
Here's the thing. According to the Academy, again, still from the Post, underrepresented groups include women, people of color, people who identify as LGBTQ+, or people with disabilities. And the new standards are meant to encourage diversity on and off the screen.
Okay, so my thing is, okay, cool, but don't hinder other people for their creativity. Don't go by race, go by what I represent, go by what the film was in my performance, not by my representation. Because if you start doing that guideline, and I'm not trying to be discriminatory or anything like that, because if you have to bring sex and religion in for me to win, then that's a problem. If I earned the position and basically got nominated,
Well, that's the thing. I think a lot of people would probably look at this as something akin to affirmative action. And while there is a positive in going ahead and giving a lot of these underrepresented folks the opportunities that normally would probably pass them by in other movies or other auditions or other roles, there is going to be the double-edged sword of that where people will look at it and be like, oh, they're just in there because of who they are. It doesn't matter what their talent is. It doesn't matter whether or not they were good in the role.
That's what the Oscars are saying. And I feel as though that's dead wrong because guess what? I'm a black actor.
I had no idea.
Oh, please. Stop. I'm just
He's black?
hypothetically.
Whoa, shocker.
I'm black, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it reminds me of
Funko Pop collector.
It reminds me of Richard Pryor in See No Evil, Hear No Evil. What do you mean I'm not white?
Yeah, see that basically Richard Pryor would probably be canceled now, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead, Day. Sorry.
But it's just that fairness is fairness. Like, you know how many times, I got overlooked in awards because someone else won? That's through life. I can't understand, people just sugarcoating stuff because, oh, I'm black. Oh, I'm Caucasian. Oh, I'm a female. Oh, I'm a male. I'm this. I'm that. Do it because I deserved it. Not because, because we got to fill the quota. Because that's what it's pretty much saying. We just got to fill the quota. Am I right or wrong?
I do understand where you're coming from. Now, it's curious here. Ryan, I figured you were going to be the one that might have actually been in favor of this. So I'm a little surprised that you're not, but I'm not judging you either way.
Well, okay, I never said that I was in favor or wasn't in favor. Because, yes, as someone of, let's just say,
whiter than an iceberg
build, to have the opportunity to go ahead and play a role that maybe would be more or less given to a skinnier person, just because of the aesthetic that brings to the film. Yes, it would be nice to be considered. However, I would never want to be a part of any project that went ahead and brought me on just because they had to. I would want to be brought onto a project because they wanted me. They saw my audition, they felt my personality, my charisma, whatever it is, and they felt that I was the best fit for the role.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of actors, regardless of size or color or orientation, that feel the same way. They want to be judged, not literally, not to take a role from MLK, but they want to be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
Well, now
or whatever character they're playing.
Now it's color of their skin, whether what sex, what, and I'm not saying this to be. I'm just saying this in a way where this is reality. Because
right. I mean,
it's not about your performance. It's about, oh, your representation.
Right. And there are just some stories that, let's face it, based upon what you want to tell or where it is in the world, some things you can't just throw in there because of inclusivity.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, you had brought up the issue with Cleopatra.
Yes.
Just refresh my memory. Exactly. What was that?
So Cleopatra is an upcoming Netflix documentary series. In this particular case, this is starring the actress Adele James. She is 28 years old, mixed race, predominantly identifies as black, and a
And
lot
that's
of
her, right?
yeah, that's her right there, and that's actually a
Looks
still
good.
shot. She does. The problem is the fact that the Egyptians and the Greeks are feeling like their heritage is being taken away because of a diversity rule, or because of the diversity clique that Netflix decided to have. So it wasn't a bunch of white people complaining; it was actually a bunch of Middle Eastern people now complaining.
But the
You
thing,
know.
okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
In this case here, I mean, it's become a war that I'm going to put something up here. I don't know if you guys can read this, but this is something that was not coined by but popularized by Dr. Thala Sharon, who is a Middle Eastern or I think Indian female doctor. Fan baiting is a form of marketing used by producers, film studios, and actors with the intent of exciting artificial controversy, garnering publicity, and explaining away the negative views of a new and often highly anticipated production. And it goes on and on and on here. But in this case here, the phrase fan baiting has become more and more common because of the fact that nobody would have ever heard of Cleopatra. Nobody would have ever heard of any of the stuff that came out, unless there was something in there to trigger the outrage and the response. And because of that, now Cleopatra on Netflix, people are going to watch it. So fan baiting is becoming a more and more thing here. And in the process, it is alienating a lot of people from wanting to continue to basically have Netflix subscriptions or Disney Plus. I mean, you look at what happened with Peter Pan and Wendy and the upcoming Little Mermaid. There's been arguments that have been made that fan baiting existed there just to gain notoriety under the guise of any press is good press. The Academy might be doing something similar here to flex their own muscle to say, this is the way we show that we care. This is the way that basically we're trying to, promote this, inclusivity and everything that's involved with it. And in the process, like him or hate him, Richard Dreyfuss is very opinionated on it. And I think a lot of people within Hollywood are actually in agreement. Now, I have a question for you. Are you guys familiar with what they call the Rooney Rule?
No. What?
The Rooney Rule in football.
Mm-mm.
The Rooney Rule is a requirement that any time that there is a head coaching position, one black head coach candidate must be interviewed. You may not give two craps about their person, but you have to click a checkbox to say you interviewed them. So a lot of black coaches do not like the Rooney Rule under the guise of the fact that it's like, I'm only here to click a checkbox. I'm not here because of my talent, and you see some, a coach like Herm Edwards, you see a coach like Dennis Green, sometimes you get really bad coaches in there, Huey Brooks, I think was one of them, for example, who had terrible record. I'm not talking about that. But a lot of them are agitated by the fact that they're not actually hired or not actually looked at because for anything more than a checkbox. And it's annoying them. And I think in this case, it might be annoying some black actors and minority actors and everybody else involved here by saying that if we want an Oscar, you have to throw me into this. I am a part of the package deal, so you can tout your production company and your director and use the Academy's new platform as a way of being able to promote future products. And I think a lot of them are annoyed by that. Now, in my case, being, working in film, I am seeing an increase in women, and, whether it be like in the AD department or, behind the camera assist, I'll be honest, as far as like LGBTQ or anything like that, I can't tell. Some people can pick that out of the lineup. I honestly, I would have no idea. I'm terrible with that, but let's just assume it happens anyway. I don't really care. You do the job. You're not an asshole. That's all I care about.
Exactly.
And for me, it's like, I don't care if you identify as gay, straight, attack helicopter, tomato sauce, whatever. If you want to marry the Eiffel Tower, go for it. Somebody did. If you do the job and you're not a dick, That's all I care about. And the production that I was on the last couple of days, it was a very heavy blend of every ethnicity, market, everything was in there. I had a really, really rocking conversation with a dude named Nate, who was part of the locations department. Spanish dude, looked like Lionel Messi. Okay, great, whatever. But if the team comes together to make a good product, the product itself does not need the academy to say, you have to do it this way or else we're not going to look at you. If you look at something that I pulled up, let me see if I can find it again. These are the ratings over the last few years, and let me pull that out of there because these are the ratings since like 2009 to now for the Oscar ceremonies. So 2009, 10, you got 36, 41, 43.7.
2014 was a good year.
Yeah. 43, and then even like I said, you started to see the steady decline. When the Weinstein stuff started to kick in, and then the Me Too movement started to kick in. My question in this case here is the Oscars were being touted as the best, ratings in years, as the third worst ever, by the way. Forget that. With this whole thing here, the Oscars are already a group and a show that is losing touch with the American public.
Right.
My question is, how much is this new issue going to hurt their product come Oscar night? And
well, that's the thing. There's probably some people at the Academy that think, oh, as long as we're looking at films that are more inclusive, then that means more people of different diversions will want to tune in to our award show.
No.
But then you're already now taking away the idea that these films being nominated are the best of the year. They aren't necessarily the best of the year. They're the best of the year that fit your criteria.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why now you have the.
Well, hold on. Sorry. Rob, what was that?
I was gonna say that's why they're starting to do other shows like the 30th Movie Guide Award just happened this last year, and like
that could make sense.
Not to promote, but Running the Bases that I was in actually won an award at that. Compared, it wouldn't go to Oscars, but it went to that, and it actually won an award over Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
In this case, though, that might happen. You might see something take over, and be like the anti-Oscars and be like, we go based on best movie, not what check boxes were clicked. I think if you have a marketing strategy like that, I think it's going to work.
I want more distribution of the Razzies. All right? I want that on network television. Put it on Fox. They deal with it. Imagine the Razzies on there. It's like, yeah, they're the worst. But you know what? We love them so much, we'll give them an award. And it's fruit. It's healthier than a gold man with a sword.
And sometimes they go pick it up. Halle Berry picked it up. Tom Green picked it up.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I think there should be some type of competition or some competitive type of award ceremony that would basically make the Oscars step their game up or they flunk.
The Oscars sees itself as the top of the pyramid, though.
Right, because they're the only ones that's up there. Because I thought MTV was going to do an award, but just to go to what you was talking about, Scott, I experienced that.
Okay.
And that was during an internship. I'm not going to say the name of the company. It was a slap in the face.
Mm-hmm.
It did kind of put me on, let's say, in a depressed moment. Because I was told one thing and then turned around, was told another. I was told that I was hired on that day, and the day they wanted me to come in was a particular Friday. They contacted me Thursday, told me, oh, are you able to come today? I was like, how am I supposed to come at the very last minute? And I got classes, and I told you that. Turn around, called me back and said, oh, we don't need you no more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I ain't even stepped foot in the door, and you told me I was let go.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you right there. This is really a quota thing. It's not something to basic. And I want the audience to know. Don't think this like if you win an award because you think you deserve it. Find out why you won an award. Don't just sit there and take it and just be like, yeah, I got an Oscar, yeah.
The politics.
It's a lot of politics into it, and sometimes it could be the fact that you don't deserve it. I'm not saying you don't. It's just the fact that it could be a film that's way better than yours. You know, that example that I did when I tried to get that internship, that crushed me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was something I always wanted. I watched this company ever since I was a kid, 8 years old. I will always tune into this particular company just because I love the quality. It was actually what it represents. Nowadays, it's not what it represents. You know, but just to put my foot there and just have it solidified that I worked for this company was like the anchor.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I would say this. Do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when you do win an award and you know you don't deserve it, it does make you feel like, ugh.
You know, it feels like it's unearned and undeserved. You know,
The problem
I don't know.
is,
I've never actually won anything in my life, so but I can imagine that would suck ass.
I mean, the thing is, we are still talking about like an award show, in the grand scheme of things. Now, does that mean that they shouldn't do something by the studios
Mm-hmm.
to work on their own inclusivity in their projects? Absolutely, they should. But that's the studio going ahead and making the movies that they want to make, whether it be for esteem or whether it be to get butts in theater seats and make money.
Right.
So the theaters will take whatever they can get. The studios will pump out whatever it is they want. The Academy is the one that is really just wading in the water, trying to grasp onto something in order to stay prominent. Because I think, like Scott said, in years past, we've seen the dip of these sorts of things. Because really, what they turned out to be is not so much a plus or a minus from the fans as far as what we think is the best of the year or what film critics may think is the best of the year when we have to hear from them. This is strictly the Academy, which is a bunch of who knows who. And mind you, the voting system for that, right? If you ever go back and find out exactly how a selection gets nominated and the point system for that, oh my God, it's mind-boggling. But they are fighting a battle of relevancy.
Mm-hmm.
That should not be the the job of any actors or film crew or anything like that to go ahead and fight the fight for them. Do it because that's the production that you want to make. Do it because there is a story that you want to tell. And, you know, if you can't abide by the reality of the story that you're creating, then go ahead and create something else that will fit it.
Unfortunately, in today's era, though, you know,
or at least make sense. You know, it's like.
But here's the thing: in today's era, if you don't side with basically what you are expected to side with, you get destroyed. It is a fascinating. It is an online societally acceptable cyberbullying style now that exists where if you do not come out and agree with or disagree with certain things that the popular masses say you have to, they will come after you too.
But whatever happened to free will, free thinking?
What makes you think you ever had any?
Whatever happened to my nuts? Because last I checked, they're mine, not anybody else's.
When you were in school, if you didn't basically do what the popular kids did, what happened then?
You got teased. Bullied, you got teased, you got bullied. And yeah, I experienced.
How is that different than now?
It's the same. Only thing that's cover up is the fact that you're an adult now.
That doesn't change a damn thing, dude.
That and the block button.
Right.
Yeah, but
See, let us not
Sam?
forget these times with kids and everything. Back when we were being teased, well, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I know as someone, I was being teased.
We both were.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was
Probably all
at
four of us, I think.
school, where you were being forced to go there. You were being forced to be around these people. You could not leave, otherwise you get in trouble. So, yeah, it was an unescapable but necessary society to be in. Now, you want to talk ish on me? Block. Report.
I'm blocking you
Yes, and
all.
then when you
right
You want to
now.
Trend-
throw those barbs at me? You want to at me, Twitter? You want to
Yeah.
at me?
And
Go ahead.
do you think
Find out what
anyone's going to
happens.
and do you
Go
think
ahead.
anyone's going to hire Richard Dreyfuss now after all this? I'm saying
Well, he's
basically
well
he's
into his
already come.
70s. He's
Yeah,
probably
but my
living
point,
enough
my point
on
being, what if he
the
was
Jaws.
what if he was in his 40s and all this happened? Do you think he'd be hireable then? I mean, look what happened. Look what happened to James Gunn. We got to switch over to Guardians anyway. You know, a tweet resurfaced from when he was a different person, and he was crushed by Hollywood for years.
Uh-huh.
He was crushed by Twitter for years.
Yeah, but then
Well,
his
basically,
fan
he
base and
realized,
popular
okay,
opinion
But see,
reversed
that's
it.
the point. It's the mob. It's the cyberbullying online mob mentality that now exists that is forcing people to have to conform to the ideology of the masses, or else you are ostracized and demonished for simply voicing an opinion that is different from what everyone expects you to have. And I really wish I recorded. Where I wrote down what I just said. There, that sounded really
Or
awesome.
like
No, it is recorded.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been recorded. But Rob, what you were saying, son?
I was gonna say it's just like I'm not saying the tweet he did was right, but it was from like 15 years ago or 10 years ago. It got resurfaced. He lost his job, got kicked off the show. And it
and
was
for something he
tweeted.
apologized for, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had apologized before the tweet came out. But you get these people that are looking for, that fight for their own likes and retweets. You know, everything you do. Here's the funny thing: not only everything you do, but everything you do, including posthumously. You know, people are getting canceled after death now.
Yeah.
Because I've come to realize that anything you create can, and anything you do can and will be used against you, even posthumously. There's a Verizon commercial where Paul Giamatti, plays a stupid Einstein. But you know what? He's really stupid because he didn't pick Verizon. And I realized that it's like, okay, this dude has been dead for almost 70 years. And you just lampooned the guy to sell a product.
Yeah.
That concerns me a little bit. Sometimes I feel like I want to be Edgar
By the way,
Friendly
nice
from like
t-shirt.
Demolition Man. Yeah, Kevin Smith shirt.
Kevin Smith.
Anyway, should we go over to Guardians and something a little more positive?
I
at
can't
this
wait
point?
to see him again next month.
Yes.
Yes, we should.
Well,
Before I
Speaking of inclusivity, the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Why?
that movie
How
was
many of
fire.
us saw the film?
I saw it. You
No,
know I
you
saw
did.
it.
What?
Got a video up on it and everything.
I
Yes, you
saw
did.
it.
Yes, you did. I think you got a subscriber or two or three.
Scott, did you see it?
Nope. I went ahead and just read the Wikipedia of it.
Shame. Shame.
Okay. I have a mother-in-law here. You know, I got a wife. As the only person who's married.
All the
has a
more reason
family
you
here-
needed the escape to the theater.
Dude, right now my escapism is basically covering MLS. So, but okay, I was on set today and did a press conference for NYCFC at the same time.
Oh, wow.
I had the Zoom press conference in my pocket while I was physically on set. True story. But anyway, like I said, in this case here, we have to talk about this. We have the
Spoiler
Guardians.
warning.
So spoiler
Oh, yeah.
alert. Spoiler. If you don't want to hear anything about Guardians and you haven't seen it, get out of here and come back later.
No. Don't get out of there.
Rewatch
Go
this
about
after
a couple of...
Go check out some of the previous episodes.
Yeah, go by a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Fast forward.
There's
Go check out my TikTok. I don't know.
Let's see, Death Contest.
or
Oh,
our
yes.
TikTok. There's stream.
So
programs
before
on
we get
TikTok.
into the results of the Guardians of the Galaxy
There we go.
Deadpool, let us first just give our brief ideas of what we thought of the movie. I expressed mine in a video over the weekend, so everyone's
I,
pretty much fine with how I thought. Day, your thoughts?
Ryan,
Yeah.
I hate you.
Why?
Ooh.
You in the passion
Why?
because you actually said everything I wanted to say in that broke that short because I saw the film. I cried twice in the theater.
As I would expect any fan to.
I cried
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
And the people right behind me saw me and it was like, yo, you crying? I was like, yes. It was that much of a tearjerker. And anybody that's animal lovers, I'm just letting y'all know, it's going to hit you hard. And when I say hard,
Ooh, nice. All right.
I didn't pull up the sub number, but I'll just give you some idea here.
nice.
Although I do have to
Unfortunately,
say,
yeah.
I found it funny when I was doing the editing of that. My facial hair, I looked like Rocket Raccoon, man. I had like all the colors. I had the white, I had the gray. Look at my mustache. My mustache is brown. Everything else doesn't match it. Why does that work like that?
I cried.
I cried.
I have a complete.
Yeah.
This is basically like humanoid Rocket. That is what I look like.
That's who your personality reminds me of. Definitely. Because I can see you asking like, how much for the arm? How much is for the eye?
By the way, that comment came in too. Thought you'd be appreciated.
Which did you guys?
Thank you for having the respect.
Did you
Not
guys see
spoiling
the
it.
video I sent? I know Day did because Day's like, I hate you.
But overall, it's a fantastic, send-off film to point that you're like, you don't want them to go, but you know it's time.
Right.
Even though there's
And they
something
said, Rob, what did you think?
contradictory.
Huh?
Huh?
Well, no, I was asking Rob what he thought.
Oh, yeah. No, I actually loved it, and the ending kind of confused me, but, you know, that's okay.
Well,
We'll see
okay.
what-
Since we're
Okay.
getting into spoilers, what exactly
kinda
about the ending confused
I'm talking about the end credit, the end when they said the legendary Star-Lord will return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That. Well, to me, I thought we were done with the Guardians, so we probably wouldn't see them again.
No.
No, not the Guardians. Not the
so-
Guardians franchise. There's still money to be made there.
Yeah, but what happened is it's called
So they'll
spin-off.
probably.
Well, it may not
True.
even necessarily be
Yeah.
spin-offs. I mean, we already have like still for
There's-
this year alone, we have 2 things set in the space and cosmic realm,
Right.
being Secret Invasion and the Marvels. So it's very possible a character like
Okay.
Peter Quill may cameo and be utilized somehow along with the plots.
Right.
It depends on the time frame of all this stuff, because
There's also
as of right
been a
now, we're not
theory.
exactly sure where we are in the time frame.
And there's also a theory that it may not be Chris Pratt because they put legendary Star-Lord, so it could be an alternate version. I don't know. That was a theory.
We
that
do
I
have the
heard.
multiverse, don't we?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have a multiverse now, and we have the big movie that's coming out, Secret Wars, in 2025.
What happened in the Flash when he met Oliver Queen? And it's like, that happened in like DC, in like Universe 41,455. It's like, you named them now, or you numbered them now. It's like, yeah.
Well, I mean, even in the Flash, you already know that there's going to be 2 different Batmen, and both of them look drastically different from one another.
Right.
So yeah, there is the possibility
Right.
that Star-Lord could be someone else other
Yes.
than Peter Quill.
Well,
Could be a girl.
I don't
And
know.
I was very disappointed.
Uh.
I was very disappointed that we did not have that many deaths. I'm very disappointed in that.
We should probably go in that direction, by the way, I suppose.
I will say these
Yeah,
deaths were unexpected.
but they did a good
Like,
job.
was there really deaths?
Well, yeah, okay. Let's call a spade here. we really messed up to a certain extent with this Deadpool because
We followed the leader on this.
Yes.
no, but hey, now, there was a lot of reason to believe that with Gunn leaving the MCU, with this being his final Guardians movie, this being his baby, his creation, and after seeing what he's done over in DC with his Suicide Squad movie and even Peacemaker, there is a lot of legitimacy to think that some people were going to die. Lo and behold,
I think
and mind you, this is what this was like an unexpected turnout for me. Everyone practically got a happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even think you normally see that in like Marvel films. Hell, even in Endgame, you still had to have Captain America retire, Black Widow die, Tony die. Gamora originally died in Infinity War, and that led to all of this. I mean, yeah, why would we think that there wouldn't be more death in a Marvel movie? But there wasn't. There really wasn't. Really, the only key deaths that we can mention would be the bad guy, which I told you was going to happen.
Wait. No.
Who are you talking about specifically?
Yeah, who are you talking about?
We're talking about the High Evolutionary.
The High Evolutionary.
No. He didn't die.
Technically, he did not die, no.
What do you mean he didn't die?
Wait, hold on. How can you say that the High Evolutionary did not die?
Because
he was essentially crippled on his ship, and the ship blew up.
You said if you don't find a dead body, it doesn't count. That was your own rule.
Exactly.
You said if there was no dead body, you can't confirm it because everybody comes back from the dead.
Because it was blown to smithereens.
That don't mean.
This isn't falling off a cliff.
Dude, how many times does the Joker survive that? And by the way, Kyle, we don't know. We're working on this right now.
Yeah, that's
to be honest with you, Ryan.
I'm sorry, no.
Because you could break somebody's leg, you could take their face off, and they could still survive.
Do you think it's plausible the High Evolutionary could come back, in this iteration, at some point?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Because you know what? Even from a narrative standpoint, look, if they really wanted to go ahead and just ice him, Rocket would have done it when everyone was around him and he had the gun to his head. But you know what? It was Rocket's story. It was his job before anybody else's to take care of the High Evolutionary. It would have been the ending for his story. And he decided he was above that. He was a better being for just being a guardian of the galaxy rather than the guy who takes out the High Evolutionary.
Right. And
he left him to his own devices, and his own devices blew him up.
So they say. We don't know because they left him there.
This is CBR.com, by the way, comicbookreader.com. The High Evolutionary is left in the sequence, leaving his fate somewhat ambiguous. There's no denying he's injured and could easily succumb to his injury. Even if he were to survive the sudden beat delivered by the Guardian, soldiers of the base could have finished the job. Yeah.
Hold on. But I know over the weekend, James Gunn answered the
character doesn't seem to perish on screen, meaning the possibility remains that he could have found a means of escaping the base. This would allow the character to return down the line and potentially reveal more about his plans he was quietly trying to carry out during Guardians 3. That is CBR.com. Kyle claims victory because Kyle's feeling sick right now and he needs to win.
I was gonna say, if we're not counting that, which is true because we didn't see a body and that was one of the rules, the only point that you get is the rabbit. Sorry.
Look, I understand I still get a point because of the rabbit, but hold on. Did anybody else have any of the other animals on their lists?
No, I don't believe so.
As number 2.
Okay, you had Rocket as number 2, but obviously Rocket didn't die. In fact, he became the new leader of the Guardians. I'd say that's,
technically he
that's
was
a W for the
borderline
man.
to death, but only reason it does count. It does count.
Go to heaven.
He didn't die. He was brought back. He was forced back.
He was on the verge of death. I mean, it's not like he crossed over and then was
He did
pulled
go to
back.
heaven.
He was in limbo.
He-
He was still alive. Heart was still beating.
Heart did stop.
You can have your heart stop, and that doesn't necessarily mean you're dead.
Hey guys, I have.
Hold on. I'm looking
Guys,
through
I
this
unfortunately
because
gotta go back
Screen
to
Rant.
work. Much love, all.
Okay.
Fair enough, man.
We'll let you know what happens, Rob.
You're right.
I already know I lost. I know I lost because all my characters stayed alive.
All
Yeah.
our characters.
By the way,
stayed
this
alive.
this is the word this is the Word document that I used the other day. So in this case, you did say Floor, the rabbit in this case, Kraglin, Starhawk, Stallone, Drax, and High Evolutionary. So you have one possibly argument made too. Day, no, maybe one. Me, no. Rob, no. Tyler, no. Jessica Lecky, maybe High Evolutionary, but no. Actually, his other one is is Drax, by the way. It cut off on that. And then Kyle had Drax, Groot, and Peter Quill. So technically speaking, Ryan wins one. Oh
That
crap!
is so
dude.
ridiculous.
That is embarrassing. That is brutally embarrassing. But a deal's a deal.
No, it wasn't embarrassing because we didn't expect this. We expected people to die, and they
I know.
didn't.
I believe actually I made the joke during the show last week. It's like, wouldn't it be funny if no one dies just to throw us off?
Yeah, you did say that.
You know, and I actually kind of wish I could find the video on that. But are we in agreement that High Evolutionary or not, Ryan wins with one?
Yes.
Then congratulations, Ryan. You, yeah, slow clap on that one.
I mean, look, even if we did count the High Evolutionary, I'm the only one that had him as a number one pick. So I would have had the most amount of points off of his death.
Right. That's why we said bravo.
But that's fine. I'll win with Floor. I'll win with Floor.
Bravo.
Bravo.
You deserve this.
Yeah, there it
Bravo.
is. Yeah, Kyle wins with a whole one. Dude, he shut out everybody else. You know, he wins by infinity.
But now, hold on. Now, is it fair that basically not only am I the only person that won, I'm basically the only person that got any points on their list?
Any point.
Because
yeah, if we're not counting High Evolutionary, I am literally the only person whose list had any pointage whatsoever.
So, did you pick better than all the rest of people on this list?
So I don't know if I necessarily feel right about like claiming the win or anything like that. So
cool, saves me $50.
Well, no.
Oh crap baskets!
Well, what happened?
He controls the show. Remember?
Oh shit!
I do get to control a future episode, which means we get to do what I want.
Okay,
within reason.
It won't be next week, but we will have a genuine meeting of the minds to figure out what it's going to be.
Oh, it doesn't have to be next week.
No, well, no, I'm saying I'm not saying it doesn't have to be next week, but I'm saying if you want to give yourself a little time to give it some thought and mull it over, to really go, you know.
God, shut up!
By the way, Brian,
but
I'm gonna say this.
I do think that based upon the participation of the fine people on this list, outside of us on the show, because it would be disingenuous for us to actually win anything like that. If you can, there should be a website that actually has like a free display of like a wheel, like, you know.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, like a wheel of pain.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
So I would like to go ahead and make that wheel, and I would like to include Kyle, Brandon, James, Tyler, and Jess Galacki, and I would like to put them on the wheel, spin it one good time, and that person wins the $50 Amazon gift card.
Something like this, basically.
Because I think it's only fair at this point. They went ahead, they did participate.
No. No.
Wow.
God, that's a great idea.
Yeah, you know what? That is a really good idea.
Yeah, so while they load that up, let's touch a few things on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I was a little surprised by the fact that they kind of made Adam Warlock an idiot.
Same here.
But it makes sense. The wheel is a jerk. Yes, the wheel is a jerk. Wheels are always jerks. They go round and round and don't do nothing. But yeah, I'm like, when they cast Will Poulter for it, I was like, okay, I get it. Fresh young talent. Going ahead, putting him in a role like that where he can grow and develop.
Right.
And you kind of see a little bit of that at the end. But for the majority of the film, it's like he's like a Nepo baby.
Yeah, because he was he came out the womb early, right?
Yeah, basically, for those who weren't catching on, the gold people from Volume 2, the Sovereign,
Yeah.
the ones who create Adam Warlock at the end of that movie and have his little like capsule where he's going to be growing and developing, and he's supposed to be a masterpiece of their engineering. Apparently, the High Evolutionary engineered the Sovereign, so he's the one who created them.
Yeah.
Ergo, he has control over what they, do for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted Adam Warlock to go ahead and go get Rocket.
Right.
Because apparently Rocket is smarter than a lot of people give him credit for. Which I like. I like that his main reason for getting Rocket was because he created something that surpassed him and that drove him nutty.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which I think some people could actually say that there was maybe a little bit of an allegory there for James Gunn dealing with Disney and everything and making the Guardians and how the Guardians had become such a property that it almost basically got stolen from him. And James Gunn did what he had to do to get it back and do with it what he wanted to do.
Right.
So, I mean, just a little like meta-ness there. But yeah, as far as being like the one really big new inclusion that they added to the Guardians, although there is also a Phyla Vel at the end, which for those people who know comics, Phyla Vel as Quasar.
Right.
Which I also think debunks another Marvel theory, because you remember in Miss Marvel how they were talking about like the bands and everything, and people kept referring to them as to being the quantum bands, which Quasar has been known to sometimes use if it's not going to a Captain Marvel. I found it very funny that they went ahead and just, oh no, she's just a little blonde girl with superpowers because she was genetically engineered to be superior to animal people. I mean, it's just a wild way to go about bringing in a character, and so subtly.
The general consensus on the film is that it's the worst of the three Guardians, but better than pretty much everything that Marvel's come out with since Phase 4.
Whoa, hold on.
Wait. What?
They're saying it's the worst of the three Guardians?
Yes.
No.
How?
Yeah.
Because the plot is so all over the place on a lot of it.
Okay. I'll admit, the whole fetch quest thing got a little long in the tooth. It's like, the minute they went ahead and they went to like the big fleshy planet and they got the thing they were looking for, and then that thing didn't fully work, so they had to go get another thing. I was like,
had the runtime.
No, don't do this. Just streamline the story a little bit. That's not what we're here for. Just let me know whether or not Rocket lives. But yeah, I mean, I'd say it did pretty damn well. 118 million opening weekend, 289, I think, globally,
Right.
and looks to be it dethroned Mario Brothers, so that says something. I'm hoping a good streak of this up until probably June.
Yeah.
And mind you, you got the Little Mermaid and Fast X and everything coming in too. But hopefully by June time, when Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse comes out, it'll hold on to the number one place that way. But any gripes with the movie that you may have had, Day, since you watched it? I don't know if Scott found anything off about what he read. No, do you liked it that much?
It was really good. I loved this. To me, it was really good. It was better than Endgame.
Better than Endgame. Wow. All right.
But on that tip of was Spider-Man No Way Home.
Okay, I can see that. Just going into some of the subplots of the movie. What did you think about Quill and Gamora not getting back together?
It was time to let go. And move on to bigger and better things. Because maybe he might have a relationship with or try to hit on Captain Marvel. He might try to hit on a couple of new Marvel.
I get the feeling that if Peter Quill tries to hit on Captain Marvel, that's going to be a dead end.
But let it gradually become a dead end. Because he's a player. Peter Quinn is a player.
Find one of those nice Earth girls. Earth girls are easy.
Zing it.
Wow.
Pun.
Message. But if you look at
I mean, I like that Peter's journey was about more than Gamora.
Correct.
That kind of felt like a WWE plot. Could have had a nice feel-good moment to send people home happy, and they decided to fart on it for the sake of farting on it.
You're
Wait,
like, okay,
which
okay, expound.
Kyle? Which part was WWE plot?
Yeah.
Because I feel like everyone ended up with the happy ending that was most effective for them. I mean, Gamora goes off and is with the family that she found, which, yeah, I mean, had Peter and her and the other Guardians not been put into that prison, who knows where she would have ended up without Thanos dragging her around. I like that Mantis, which I did say, I'm happy that Mantis is actually going off now and doing her own thing rather than being attached to Drax or any of the Guardians and just trying to find herself. Like I said last week, Mantis probably has the most amount of potential for growth in the MCU, and
And she could have her own series at this point too.
Yeah, I hope that we eventually see
Disney
the Mantis that we get in the comics, not just this more naive version. More than anyone was kind of hoping for it, and they went on the no. I mean, I'd say the only person who probably got shafted in this movie was Groot.
Yeah, because you ain't hear too much about Groot, except for that one scene when he actually talked.
Oh yeah, then when he says, "I love you guys," it's like, jeez. Like, I literally was like, what the? I said that in the theater. I was like, what? What? You've been holding that the whole time?
And you could
you
talk?
bastard tree? But no, I hate to say it, it almost makes sense that Groot would end up being able to say something else. Because, mind you, for the longest time, when we first saw Groot, he was just already like his species. He's already like the tall Groot that we know and love. Now, ever from a sapling, growing up with the Guardians, growing up with Rocket, growing up with Peter, growing up with everybody, it only makes sense that he would have learned a little bit more English, or a little bit more base language, as they like to call it. So yeah, why not? But I would have liked to have seen more with him and Groot. Groot and Rocket really like bonding, and him being more upset about Rocket's potential passing, only because they are such a pair. They are like the closest. They're closer than Quill and Gamora. They were closer than Drax and Mantis.
Man, they're closer than peanut butter and jelly.
Basically,
than a chocolate bar with butter. I mean,
yeah. And yet, Swole Groot, as they call him, Swole Groot, was pretty much just there as help. You know, I would have figured he'd have a little bit more emotional involvement, but I still like what they did with him. I like that he was holding in the guns and everything in his body, and he just kaiju's himself and becomes a big monster. They really were able to flesh out what the creature could do. But and speaking of what he could do, that hallway fight.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
That was the highlight of the movie.
That was epic.
Yeah.
Like if you do a highlight reel,
Not.
Phase 5.
Hold on, I'm gonna pause you right there.
That is
right. I'm gonna pause you right there. That room and then the soundtrack they picked for that fight scene.
So metal.
No sleep until Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm. That's how you know he has a Zune and not a cassette tape.
That is the pasta that you basically made to perfection, and it's like mama made it well, so you can basically indulge in happiness.
Yeah, that's no box of Barilla right there. That is fresh made. Kneaded it with my own hands. Mother's love, extra virgin olive oil put into the machine.
Oh,
Asta.
Tomato sauce done perfectly.
Immersion blender.
Oh Lord. Yeah, we're talking about food. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
This thing tells from the film.
All right. So, Scott, do you have that wheel set up yet?
Oh, I'm doing that now?
I thought you were.
No, I didn't know I was supposed to do that. I figured.
I thought that's what you were doing. I thought that's what you moved away.
We'll do it next week. I will have a wheel. I will have for wheel for the.
No. We can't say we'll do it next week because then that's just a tease to the people.
Yeah. We're going to do it live. We're going to do it live.
Only 5 people. Don't worry. I do wish we could have had more people throw their lists in and everything, but I think for the sake of argument, considering there were so few winners, it might have turned out better this way. I think there would have been a lot more disappointed people knowing that it's all just going to come down to like the roll of a die, basically.
All right, so let's go away. All right, so who's on this list right here? Kyle, me.
No. We take us off. No you, no me, no Day, no Rob.
Okay, so Kyle.
Yes.
Who else?
Brandon.
Is it Stephanie or?
No, it was Jessica. Tyler. And then there was one other. Did you say Stephanie?
No, it's not Stephanie.
There's a Jess in there too. Oh no, we got Jess. Tyler.
I thought there was a second person.
Rob
Day.
Was,
at the top of the list, whatever that list was. There was like 2
James
people.
Gersha.
Okay.
So
those 5.
Bollocks.
You spelled my name wrong.
All right. Who's the other one?
Tyler.
There. Now, is that right?
I believe so.
Is there another color? Because it looks like.
Oh, it's fine. As long as it lands on the name.
Okay.
So here we go. And it's going to Kyle. We have a wiener.
No, it's winner. He's just being a star.
So, Kyle, even though your list garnered no points, Okay,
Yes.
Kyle, you're kind of just diming yourself out after you won, so
Yeah.
but you're not a regular. You're more of a guest.
Yeah.
So
There.
I'm
that's
a
better.
guy. You cute.
So yes,
Okay.
Kyle, you are the lucky winner of the $50 Amazon gift card. And
I will not be
if
giving it
you
to you
want
until
to
you finish.
discuss
I will
with
not be giving
me,
it to you until you finish the editing I've asked you to do.
Yeah, Kyle.
So,
Yeah, Kyle.
but yeah, Kyle, if you want to go ahead and discuss with me what I should make the show do, since I do hold that power at least, hit me up in the messages. Let me know, and we'll discuss. And
Oh boy, no.
I will let you know when the date of that particular episode comes to fruition.
Oh
sounds
man,
good.
I'm gonna be doing
All
horrible
right.
things.
On that note, should we wrap this up? It's 70 minutes at this point.
Okay,
woke up
okay.
at 2:30.
Scott's exhausted.
I woke up at 2:30 this morning. I was out the door by 3.
Oh wow.
All right.
Got to get that health insurance.
He's heard us wax on about this movie enough. Folks,
Have
if you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, go ahead and see it. I promise you, even if you haven't watched the previous movies, this is a fun ride. You know, you will laugh, you will cry. If you bring little children, do let them know that all the animals on screen are fake. This way they don't get hurt or, traumatized.
So,
Just
yeah, and no animals were harmed in the filming of this movie, CGI
Yes.
or otherwise.
yeah. And
Yeah.
just know it will make you cry.
Yes, but mostly decent tears to happy tears, I think.
You know what probably would be the most brutal thing to do? Do like a Hot Ones, but like watch like Marley and Me or Old Yeller
Oh,
while
God.
eating Hot Ones.
No. Oh God, no.
Carolina Reaper with the ending of Iron Giant.
Oh no. You're evil.
Aren't you glad I'm the one with the power?
Oh,
No,
go
I wouldn't put you guys through that.
I know.
I mean, I might now since you brought up the idea, but I
Oh,
want to be a little more creative.
no. Why you do that, Scott?
Okay. Let's end it before I come up with any more machinations.
All right, cool. All right, folks. Thanks as always for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'm Scott. That's Ryan. That's Day. Rob had to pop off and go back to work. He actually was cool enough to come in while working, which I give him respect on that. Hopefully he doesn't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Any other final thoughts, guys?
No.
Nah,
Cool.
just enjoy your movies when you can.
Yep. Until next time, be awesome.